Hi, Hauwa. How are you today?
I'm good.
Thank you so much for sharing your personal journey and advocacy journey to advocate for mental health to be included in policy.
Yep.
Are you able to share with our viewers a little bit about what that experience has been for you?
Yeah, sure. I mean, starting my organization in 2016, also being someone with lived experience as well, has definitely been a roller coaster of its own. But I think, channeling all of that and really being passionate about ensuring that other people out there do not necessarily go through the same experiences that I went through is definitely something that drives me. And also seeing that it is a topic, mental health generally speaking, that a lot of people want to talk about but don't have the sort of language to talk about it also allows me the opportunity to be able to step in to hopefully provide some vocabulary to expand possibilities for people who live with it and also to co-create solutions with people who have lived experiences as well.
Okay. And so, what has been some of the challenges you faced in advancing the language, but also pushing for that kind of inclusivity in how people understand mental health?
Oh yeah, I mean, challenges would be things that I'm sure we all know, social cultural barriers and things that we have called norms for a long time. Especially on the African continent, we're very religious. We cling a lot to what is normal, what is our culture, and things like that. And so a lot of times it requires a lot of teaching people to unlearn. So there's a lot of reorientation really going on. A lot of people feeling like, I can't believe in God and have a mental health condition at the same time. And so also, but generally speaking, what I would say is that it's just that unfinished story is that story that is not yet complete. And so we go in to complete that story that people are riding with. Because when people do not have a complete story, that's when they discriminate, that's when they have stigma, because they're either unaware, underaware, have missing parts of elements of truth, but together, when they come together, they're not actually the full picture. And so we're going there to actually clarify that picture so that people can begin to have the right information and knowledge around mental health. And of course, one of the ways that we've done that is also, systemic change with the Nigerian mental health law now that was passed in January 2023. But it's really what happened in the run up to the passing of that legislation. And it's really about, ensuring that we put the people who have lived experience at the forefront. It's about ensuring that for the first time, perhaps our voices are, to some level, our input is taken into consideration, that we are at the table on some level also, perhaps not as much as we would like, but at least a step in the right direction, or like we said, a shift. And so a lot of that was really about, for me, being given the privilege of being the first person with a mental health condition to testify before the Nigerian Parliament on the rights of people with psychosocial disabilities and mental health conditions, and being able to really advocate from a standpoint of nothing without us, and ensuring that not just about the changes that need to be made or had to be made with the bill, but really about ensuring that we're at the table going forward.
Absolutely. So, thank you so much, Hawa, for the important work that you do and even just going through this journey and pushing for change, especially at policy level.
Yeah.
During the panel, you talked about an infrastructure deficit where we pass very powerful laws, paper tigers, but then there's an implementation gap.
Yep.
So, what do you see as the next steps now that the law is been enacted?
Accountability. A lot of accountability. I think a lot more young people need to engage in policy making and also holding the necessary institutions, the MDs, the ministries, the commissions, the agencies accountable for what the laws already mandated them to do. There is only so much that we can do community level or an individual level, but in order for us to scale to really reach the furthest behind first, to really reach the most vulnerable people who would otherwise not have access to certain solutions or practices or policies or the dividends of such policies, we really need to engage with, the institutions that are started with that responsibility. Accountability is powerful. It's mobilizing to ensure that those who have committed to do it or who have been assigned the responsibility actually follow through with it. And so we can put less pressure on ourselves in terms of stretching ourselves thin in actually doing the work, but actually holding their hands or signposting them or giving them what we call in Nigeria close marking to ensure that they actually do the work.
Fantastic, fantastic. And finally, what advice do you have for young mothers who might be going through mental health struggles, challenges, conditions, and are scared of reaching out or knowing where to access resources?
Yeah, I think first off, I have to first acknowledge the experience of a young mother. It's unfathomable, especially in the kind of society that we live in. I think it's really important that we first validate the experiences of young mothers. It's not enough for us to just throw advice at them and say, oh yes, do this and do that and do that. I think you don't quite know the full extent of the experience until you actually go through it. And so I just want to say, first off, I see you. I may not know exactly what your experience is, but I see you. I recognize your struggle. And I think the second thing I'll probably say would be that, you matter. Whatever dreams you have, you still have matter. And there are possibilities and there are models of change. And it is not to minimize you or to make you feel small, but it is hopefully to get you to see that there are possibilities. It has happened. It's let's move forward. What next? It's not moving forward because we're not going to carry something with us. We're going to carry it all with us, but perhaps we can carry it differently.
Very powerful. It's been humbling having this conversation
Thank
with
you
you,
so
Hauwa.
much. It's a
We
pleasure.
remain in solidarity with the work that you do.
Thank you.
And yeah, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.